Hi, everybody. I think I might have this. I'm not sure. We're going to try it out. I don't know if it records or not. I might just be able to do the live stream now. I'm not sure. Um, I don't know that anybody knows I'm here, but I'm here and I'm going to play a little bit today just to try out the live stream to try to figure out how to make it work. I do not seem to be able to get this sorted out. And things look a little backwards. I'm not sure why. They are backwards. Well, I hope it doesn't make anybody but me dizzy. I have no idea why that is. Anyways, I'm going to be here. I'm going to do my doodle for today, just real quick, and then I have some other stuff I'm going to play with just to see if anybody pops in. Do let me know if you're here watching this. If not, I hope it will go to the recording. Like I said, I've been fighting with this for months, I think. First off, my camera would not. I was using a DSLR camera, and there was no way to film live because it wasn't attached to the computer. So that didn't work. And I know a lot of you use your phones, but for me, that just wasn't working very well. And it doesn't help that my phone is really old. Um, I think my phone is like 7 years old now, but I really like it and I don't want to buy a new one. So um, we've been having a lot of heat, a lot of rain, but only just a little rain here and there. We're down on rain for the year so far, and it looks like we could go into a drought. Um, of course, it rains whenever you want to do something. That's just the way it works. So, anyways, I thought I'd do my doodle for today and accomplish that while I was here. I already made beads. The kiln actually has turned off, so it won't make a lot of noise. The air conditioner's running full out because it's almost 90 outside. And between 90 and humid, it takes a lot out of the portable air conditioner. And of course, making beads always is hot. So my studio's a little warm this afternoon. My husband's also been taking apart the back door. The previous owners of this house did not take very good care of it. They allowed their animals to tear up most of the wood and just odds and ends of things that I don't know. People sometimes amaze me. But um, he's down to doing little stuff. The big stuff seems to be mostly done now. Um, he he's been at his wits end this last week. His Jeep's been in the shop, and that means that he doesn't he couldn't pull the trailer, so he couldn't go do lawns. We moved back here to kind of help out with our parents after he retired, and then we got in a wreck with the RV, so we don't get to travel like we wanted to, and um, so he's been taking care of actually 4 lawns. So this fact that it hasn't rained actually was good because it didn't meant the grass didn't grow so fast. Um, After the last few days, he'll have to go into town and make sure he gets them all mowed. Um, but his dad and my mom live within 3 blocks of one another, so it's good that we can help out. Anyhow, he's out. I don't know what he's doing now. Like I said, he had the back door apart. He's they allowed their dogs to actually tear up the wood of the door, and so he rebuilt what he could and put wood putty in what he couldn't, and so he's sort of gotten that sorted out, which is good. We hadn't intended to live in this house for some time. We were living in our RV, put the pad in out there, and we're going to fix the house up just a little at a time, when suddenly we had to fix the house up right now. So we've kind of fixed it up around ourselves. It's kind of it's always interesting when your plans get changed. So, and I had planned on Friday afternoon getting this sort of figured out with the live stream thing and seeing if I could make it work. And like I said, I started out, first off, the DSLR I was using doesn't allow you to do live streams at all. So I went and got a little webcam. Well, I'm not real happy with it, but it's supposed to allow me to do live streams. At the same time, it wasn't working. I couldn't make it work. So I don't know. Now, Facebook or YouTube's got a couple of new things and maybe it's my computer, but it looks like it's working this afternoon. Now, if you're wondering about these, this is the 100-day project, and I do a doodle every day. The idea behind it is to create something every day. You don't have to do a doodle. You do what you want to do. I knew time-wise, first off, I was catching up, and secondly, that I just don't have a lot of time most days, that I had to be something small. So this works real well. Hopefully later have to put together a new book because I am about out of doodle space. Got maybe another week and I'll have to have a new book. So we'll see about getting to that. There are some videos with my doodles in them out and about. If you're interested in it, take a look. But there's that. Now the next thing I was going to do is to work on this. I have to have the pages, the inserts ready to go into this cover this next weekend. And so I have to get them together. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. But first off, I'm going to check out the stream information and see what's going on. And I don't know. It doesn't look like anybody's really here. It does say I'm live, and it does say that I've done 8 minutes. So hopefully it's working. We'll find out. I'm just going to type in something. Like I said, nobody really knew I was coming here, so it really is not important to me so much that somebody's here, but that this works. So if anybody can see it, please let me know. I kind of work in a little of this and a little of that sometimes, just because that's what I have time for. And so then I have a big tub that I put things in that for each project. These are the paper clips I made for this particular book. So we'll just set those aside. And there's a video of those too. But what I'm going to do now, and I've got some tags ready. I need to see how many tags I've got. Maybe make a few more tags. Okay. There's only 5. Okay. Ah, looks like I've got some more stuff stuck, but what I really need to have ready to go this coming weekend is the signatures ready to sew in. So I'm going to work on tuck spots and things like that. And to do that, we're just going to have to see what we've got and what we want to do. These are 8.5 by 11 sheets folded, or let me show you what it got. This is some scrapbook paper and music paper, and copy paper, some cardstock, some kids' writing paper. This is a fun black envelope that's junk mail. More copy paper, more scrapbook paper, and this is oh, it was out of a workbook, teacher's workbook, an envelope. This is from a paper mouse pad out of a sketchbook, copy paper. Anyways, I'm going to make corners and tuck spots and things like that for this. So it'll all just be kind of figured out on the fly as I go. I have black cardstock. I have some red cardstock. I have some white cardstock. I have some paper with some little edges trimmed on it. I found out that edge is really cute, but you can't really leave it by itself because it's not strong enough on paper. So I actually think that let's do some tucks to go along the bottom of a couple of these pages. So like this. That's what I think we'll do first. Just some tucks for some bottom. So, and since I have 3 signatures, I need 3 of everything. So we're just going to look to see if I have a second piece of that. I do. Okay. Okay. And if I don't talk very much, I'm sorry. It's not that I'm not interested in talking to you. It's that nobody's here. I'm talking to myself. Might get old. I've been trying to do this live thing for probably 3 months. But we do have a lot going on in our lives, so it doesn't really mean that I haven't been able to. It's just more that I haven't had time. Okay, how deep do we want that? We probably want that about 2.5 inches. And the plan is for this to be all ready for next weekend. I have a group coming to the house to to teach them how to sew the signatures in to that book. Now, if you have followed me in the past, there's a tutorial for all of this um, on my YouTube channel. Every one I do, though, is different. So now I really like this glue. It's Tombow Aqua Glue. I like it because it has a tiny little applicator. Okay. What I will probably do is get most of the tuck spots and everything's ready, and then I'll go back and stitch them. I have stitched on the cover of this, so I'll probably do some stitching on these too, just to tie it all together. Sounds like my husband has come in for the day, which means that things will get noisy here pretty soon. And I might end the live stream just because. That will also tell me whether or not I can save it and whether or not everything's working. And I'll cut that in half in a little while. If this works, what I found out is that the software that I use to record my videos has been causing issues. So that will be a good thing to have found out. This little border is a border punch. A friend of mine came over to borrow my um, big kick, side kick, whatever the silly thing's called, and make some die cuts. And she brought with her um, her border punches so that I could play with her border punches because I don't have any. So that was fun. Thank you, Cindy. I'm using them. Oops. Now this will give me an extra piece, and that's fine. What I'll do is I'll cut it and use it in some other little way, maybe on a tag or something. That way I've got a pocket to put in right here. So, okay, let's come up with some corners. Now these are pieces of security envelopes. And they've got all kinds. This is a nice big piece. So what I'm going to make is some corner tuck spots. Let's get these out of the way. To do that, I need a couple of squares. Let's see how big this is. It is 3 3/4. And I have replaced this blade and replaced this blade, and it seems like I end up with a blade that still does not cut well. I don't know what's going on. Since I want these to be corner spots, I'm going to cut them on the diagonal. Oh, that did not work. Oh, somebody's here watching. Don't know who it is, but hello. Does it tell me who is watching? Let's see. Nope, it doesn't. Well, whoever you are, hi. Or maybe you watched and got off. I'm not sure. But I think I am going to attach that to some of this so that it has some stability. Guess I could have done that before I cut it out, but that's okay. I know about it. We'll glue them on and then we'll take them off. Oh my, use this envelope for writing on. Now I'm going to put it in this journal. Got to use everything. Another thing about this particular glue is that it dries hard. So if I do decide to sew over this, once it's dry, it won't hurt my sewing machine as long as I haven't really stuck it, a whole lot of it. So that's helpful. Oh, hi, I don't know, Hunter family. What I am doing is I am working on the signatures, and I'm making tuck spots and things like that that go in there to put in this journal cover. I have to have these signatures all ready for next weekend, and so this is one of the little pockets that will be put on later. So what I'm making is just the tuck spots and things like that. This is a corner tuck, and this is a security envelope. I won't be talking to myself so much now. Thanks for coming in and visiting and saying hi. Um, it's getting late in the afternoon here. Actually, I think it's 3:30. So, and like I said, I like to use this particular glue because you can sew over it afterwards if you don't overdo it. And right now I am taking the security envelope corners that I just cut and putting them on some cardstock just to give them some bulk. Thanks for stopping by my live stream. This is the first one I've ever done. I'm real happy to finally make it work. I've had a wonderfully not time to try to make it work. If you just got home, are you going to get to play this afternoon, or are you going to have to do chores? um, I have to have the signatures ready, and I have to sew it in because next weekend I have a group coming to the house for me to show them how they're supposed to do that. So I have to get this all ready. That's one of the reasons why I decided to work on it this afternoon. So I am just playing and making. I make 3 because there's 3 signatures going to go in that book. So I'm making 3 of everything, and then I'll figure out where they go later. It's just easier to make the pieces and stick them in. Also, I'll probably do a little stitching. No, that just really chewed that up. I don't know. I was going to show you these are some tags I had earlier. These have pin stitching that I did around them, but these are actually stitched with the sewing machine. And like I said, since I stitched on the cover, I thought I'd tie some of it together with that. Now then, let's see. We need something to decorate these. And I have some red. So I think I'll do some little red circles. Uh-oh. That one decided to fly. Okay. Scissors. Okay. Now, I don't worry that they're exactly the same, but I usually try to do them close to the same. I'm not gonna worry terribly. Tux box and test. Oh yeah, they're fun to make. No, actually, I've been saving it. My husband saves it. Um, the envelope stuff he saves for me, and when he finds a new pattern, he goes, "Oh, cool!" So he said I'm gonna have to quit saving envelopes, though. I told him I have one shoebox full, and when the shoebox gets completely full, I have to get rid of. I have to start putting them back in the recycle bin. So I have to use a bunch of them. Um, Somebody I know had made some really cute tags with it. Uh, I decorated the front of the cover of this, and I just love how graphic it came out. So, hubby found me some blue um, security envelope stuff the other day, and one my mother saved had stars on the inside of it. My mother also saved stuff for me. So, can you hear me? Okay. Great. Um, the I know my when I do a recording, everything works fine, but uh, the like I said, the live stream is totally different, and I really think it's the software I was using for my recordings that was causing trouble. Okay, I think those tuck spots are done. What I'll do is I'll stitch around them a little bit and maybe do some pins. I think maybe I'll do that right now if I can find what I did with my pin. I think what we'll do. This is a Micron Pigma pen. They're my favorite black pens for most things, mostly because they don't bleed. This book is just like the one that I have done um, the tutorial on. So there's actually a breakdown. I think there's 6 parts to it now. And I made the cover as part of one of the tutorials, and then never finished it. So with this group coming, I have to finish getting it ready so that I can demonstrate for the group how to sew the signatures in. Okay. Uh, First off, I have a stash that you would not believe. Um, I have I've collected things over so many years. I'm an artist. I make glass beads, so I have all kinds of things. Like these Pigma pins, though, I get them usually at Michael's. Um, we lived out in the middle of nowhere land in South Dakota for a lot of years, so uh, I would buy stuff and then go on. As far as like the papers in here, I have a pad of black and white um, scrapbook paper, and oh heavens, I've had it for so long. That probably came from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Um, the Some of the other papers that I use, I get these. I've been going to thrift stores to get a lot of paper supplies and books, things like that. Um, I got I got this at the thrift store. This was a kid's writing tablet. This is junk mail. So this was at our library book sale. It was a teacher's um, workbook. This is a paper pad that is you use for a mouse pad, and I did get that at Hobby Lobby. This is scrapbook paper, and it could have come, not scrapbook paper, but sketch paper out of a sketchbook, and that easily could have come from Walmart. But as far as like the micron pens, you can order these, for, I think, from Jet Pens, but I usually get mine at Michael's and use a 40% off coupon. Okay, so now I'd like to have a little spot on the inside of this that goes this way. It's going to go this way. So what do I want to use? Maybe I'll start with a piece of black. I have a couple pieces of this white. That won't be enough. Dollar Tree's a fun place to visit too. I don't go there very often, but I do get some things there. I try to stay away from Walmart. Walmart and I just don't get along very well. I think what I'm going to do is sort of a collage thing. Okay. So I need 3 pieces that are all the same size, and say about 2 inches should give me yeah. Well, great. That's wonderful. Like I said, this is the first live stream because I couldn't make it work. But now that I have been able to make it work, when I get a chance, I wanted to do a thing where I did every Sunday, but the way our lives are, I don't want to promise something I cannot do. So, like I said, we moved back here to take care of our family, to help take care of family, and things seem to happen. I wanted to get on here and make this work Friday, and the air conditioner at Mom's quit working, so it just toasted my afternoon. Which, that's why we're here. That's what we wanted to be here for. So, and thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I will also try to make a notification thing where you get notice when I'm going to do it live. I didn't know until the last minute that it was going to work or that I was going to have time. So when I do these, I just kind of to play with it. I'll want to make sure that it's full of stuff. And I love the fact that all of these have different textures, different patterns. And for black and white or gray and white, they're all different colors. That's another thing I really like about it. Do you do videos on your channel? Um, that was one of the problems I had in the beginning. So many people do it with their phones. Um, my phone just is not conducive to doing it with. Um, I couldn't see what I was doing. Now, I have learned a lot of stuff since then. My husband, when he retired, uh, we got him a digital DSLR, and I have a little tiny digital camera, just a little point and shoot thing that I use to take pictures of beads. And yeah, it does mean you have to kind of stop and do things. Um, but when I was doing the videos, the digital cameras stop after 14 minutes. So it was like, okay, all of a sudden I realized I was done. The camera was done, and then I wouldn't have what I needed. And I was like, oh, great, just what I want. So I ended up going and buying myself a web camera so that I could do live streams. And I just, it's a web camera that's above me. So not my computer camera, but above me. And yes, you do have to kind of finish your projects if you're going to do that. But I have 500 million projects, so one of my projects is going to be to take all of my rubber stamps off the wood blocks when I get a chance. So, wow, I've been on here for 42 minutes. I'm hoping that this records too. So, do you ever go and watch the live streams of other people that after the fact? I watched several people, Dee Dee Wellingham and Mary LTA and a few of those people, and I like to watch them. I can't always make it to their live streams. I sometimes have to go after the fact. Okay. I'd like to do something where the people who were on the chat were playing along too. That would be fun. I think it needs one more piece. Yep. What do you think? Okay. The other thing is setting up your camera so that you can see the chat at the same time. That was another thing it took a while for me to figure out. And my hubby came in, took a shower, and he's in there being really quiet. I think he heard me talking to myself. So he's in there being very, very quiet. Now this is all rough along here, but I'm probably going to do some stitching on it. So I will just wait until I do that and catch it. Thank you. When I finish this book all up, of course, I'll have to do a flip through of it. I have a list of videos to do. It's amazing how many ideas I have that I can't seem to accomplish all of them. And I know a lot of people use glue stick. I just do not like glue stick for most things. Well, I have to tell you, I used to work for Bernina dealers. I used to manage Bernina stores, and I used to um, sell Bernina sewing machines. And I have my Bernina, my big high-end uh, electronic Bernina, and that is what I use to sew paper with. Several things about sewing paper, and that's one of my videos I'd really like to do, is that when you finish sewing paper, remember paper has acid in it. What you need to do is make sure that you clean your machine and oil it when you're done. Every time you sew paper, clean it and oil it, because the needle's going to push little pieces of paper down into it. So you want to get that cleaned out of there. Paper has acid in it. Uh, it's, now, scrapbook paper is supposed to be acid free. It is still going to dry out the machine. So um, you want to make sure that you clean and oil the machine when you're done. That's the biggest thing. And remember not to sew clothes with the needle you sewed paper with, because it's probably dull. Um, I'm a firm believer in a brand new needle just about every time I sew, but when I sew paper, I tend to use the old ones. It's going to punch a hole. So, and I have more than one machine, so I could use something different if I wanted to um, sew paper exclusively on a specific machine, but I don't feel I need to. I just make sure I clean it. Um, like I said, that's one of the videos I'd like to make is sewing on paper. Um, we used to teach kids how to sew at lots of the dealers I used to work for, and we would give them paper and no um, paper with lines on it, and then no thread, and they were to follow the lines. If you do that, they learn how to pick up and make turns and all kinds of things like that. And we would just make copies on a copy machine, and they'd be sewing on copy paper for the first class. That's all they did, and they had a ball with it. And you know, it's one of those things. My mother uses an embroidery machine, she's real high-end Bernina embroidery machine that she uses all the time, and she makes cards all the time. And heck, the stabilizers that they use in embroidery darn near close to paper. So the biggest thing is cleaning and oiling your machine. And if you didn't get it from a dealer who will teach you how, see if your mother-in-law will teach you how to clean it, because that is the most important thing I can tell you, is to clean it and oil it every time you use it. So, oh, and machine oil makes a difference. Um, you don't buy your the machine probably came with oil, but if you have to buy oil again, don't buy it at Walmart. Go to find a sewing machine dealer and get a little bit better quality machine oil, or go to Joann's and someplace like that. Um, Sewing machine oil does differ, so try to get some that's a little higher end. It will make a difference in how long it stays, keeps the machine lubricated. So I'm really glad you came today. Otherwise, I'd have been talking to myself this whole time. It might have gotten very boring. It's funny, I made different journals. The first one I made was yellow, which is not my coloring. I'm not fond of yellow. The second one I made was purple, which um, everybody likes purple, and that's fine. It's just not my favorite. This is my favorite one, and it's the last one to get done. So I'm glad you did too, because I'm going to have to go in a little bit and make dinner. I don't know where you're at, but it's uh, it's almost 4 here. There. Okay, so that's the inside tuck spot or tuck thing. It'll go like so. Well, that'll look really stand out. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's put those up there where they can get dry. Okay, let's see what we have else. Okay, there's another tag. Got some more pieces here ready for tags. And I did a video, when I made the tags, I did a video about using recycled pieces for the video. And this is tag board from embossing folders I bought. And I used, these are out of catalogs, and I used the catalog paper lines to put on the back of all of the black tag board to make these little tags. And this little design is actually the embossing folder design that was at the top of the cardboard. So this one I think I'm gonna cut up and actually make 2 tags out of. So let's trim it off. I'm making a nice big mess to clean up for tomorrow. I have a table that's 4 foot by 8 foot. I'm working in 2 foot of space. Ah. Do you have your computer in the kitchen? I'm going to put my dinner in my Ninja cook pot in a little bit, but I have to go peel carrots and onions and all that kind of good stuff. Oh, that's cool. My kitchen's a little small. It's plenty big enough for a kitchen, but there's no room for a desk. This is a 1950s style ranch type house, and my studio is the best part about it. It's got 8 big windows, so 2 walls in the studio are all glass. You wouldn't know it today because it's so gray and yucky out, but there's lots of light that comes in here. Okay. Now the way I cut the top of a tag is that I cut off one corner. Let's get that out of the way, like so. And I flip this over and I put my little piece on top of the other corner. And then I cut off the other side. And then I have the shape of my tag. And I'll just do that again. And if it might be a little bit different shape, but at least it's always the same on my tag. And then I usually round the bottom of my corners on my tags. I just think I don't know, that just looks cute. There we go. And a hole punch in the middle. You notice I measure everything, right? I had thought about working in my art journal today, and I may do that another day, but this needed to get done, so. All right, let's find some. Okay. Now the tags I don't usually make all the same. I usually just make them however they come out. Okay. And for that matter, the extra piece of this that I'm going to have left over, I might turn into a tag. So. is really leaving a terrible edge. I'm going to have to see about getting a new cutting blade. Oh, that's not going to work. Huh. Okay, so that is... Oh, it ate it. There we go. Well, I wanted to round the bottom corners of this. So, and the corner rounder is just eating it. So we'll see if I can do it. Oh, I don't like that at all. Nope. Sometimes that happens. Uh, well, my husband's been really good to me over the years and always made sure I had a space to work. But then I work for myself. I make glass beads. So I kind of have to have a space. We actually had a space in our RV that I could use to work in and make beads. And he puts up with my mess all over the house. But I have, in this house, I have this, well, it's about 12 by 40, I think, 12 by 30 room. And I have huge tables and lots of room to work. But my child's grown, so I don't, uh, my child's grown, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Um, he's actually going to be 28 years old this year. I don't know how he got to be 28. I really don't. Um, you asked me about supplies, and I had to go buy this. I have 2 or 3 different corner chompers, and I wasn't liking any of them. Part of them were too big, and part of them were too small, and part of them didn't work. And I got this one at Hobby Lobby. Um, I was really pleased when we moved back to the real world where I could go to the store. When we lived in South Dakota, it was 2.5 hours to get to anywhere. Since we've been rehabbing a house and taking care of parents and all that, I have to work with a few spare moments too. I know that feeling. And I only had one little one, so it was not too hard to craft because he was very well entertained by Legos. Okay, there we go. Takes a while to figure them out, but once you do, it works real well. Oh, somebody else is here. There's 2 people here. Hmm. Whoever else it is, say hi. I'm just making tags for a black and white journal I'm working on. I was making some tuck spots for the signatures. Just getting the signatures all sorted out and ready. This is my first live stream. I think I'm doing it right. Ugh. Oh my, you are a busy lady. Congratulations to the oldest. And congratulations to having a 3-year old. Having a 3-year old does mean certain things are fun. I miss little ones for Christmas. What did your oldest graduate in? What are they going to do? Oh, how fun. Well, I wish her well. Grad school is exhausting. English is not my strong suit. That is for sure. There we go. Now with some stitching, I might do some pin stitching around that too, but I'll wait until I've stitched it to the side. That also means you have to fix a lot more dinner than I do. I just have to go cut up some carrots and onions and stick it all in the pot. I'll be done. I really like how this pattern and this pattern go together. Oh my goodness. Uh, and like I said, I'm gonna go stick some stuff in the Ninja cooker and be done with it. So thank you. I really like how they come out. I'm real pleased with them. Like I said, when I grabbed these embossing folders, and when I did, the black cardstock was so pretty and shiny. I'm like, well, I have to use it for something. And I had this black and white journal cover already ready to go, and so I just made those. Now there's an actual video of these tags, making these tags, um, There's a recorded video of when I made these. So if you wanted to see that. And I think that I'm going to call this live stream done and go for now. And it's in an hour and 10 minutes, and I have to go fix some dinner up. And I really appreciate you watching. Um, thanks. Uh, it doesn't really tell me what your name is, just your family name. I will make sure to post it if I'm going to go live again. That's one of the things I really want to know. Kimberly. Well, hi, Kimberly. I'll try to remember that. And